Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Watch. Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast. AEW Revolution Recap Edition. Katie, was this AEW's worst pay-per-view to date?
No?
No?
I don't know. I'm trying to... Having me think of all the pay-per-views they've had. Maybe? I don't know.
I'll tell
Ask
you
me
what,
questions.
it did not need to be 4 hours long.
No.
The first portion probably given, with the exception of maybe like the women's finale, excuse me, the women's title match, and of course the tag team Royal Rumble is what it is.
It was a battle royal.
No, because a battle royal, everybody starts in the ring. This was a Royal Rumble. It was a tag team Royal Rumble. That's all it was. But with the exception of those two matches, the vast majority of the show could have been on Dynamite.
I mean, the ladder match.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you could have taken the women's, like the tag team match, the prelim, Miro and Kip. Jeez, like, a lot of stuff just didn't need to be. Hell, even Matt Hardy and Hangman Page could have been an episode of Dynamite. I mean,
It was a good match, though. But
it was a decent match. Like I'm saying, nothing like. I don't think there was any bad matches. There's definitely a god awful finish to that death match,
which is so sad because like the match itself was good.
The match itself was good. That is just the
Awful.
picture perfect for anticlimactic, man.
There was more explosions when they hit the ropes than
Yeah.
the bomb was supposed to go off, and it's so sad.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, you guys, if you're new to the show, we're a wrestling recap podcast. You can catch us live on twitch.tv/puttingyouover, where we follow Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. We go live most of the time right after they go off the air. You can, however, catch our NXT recaps over on twitch.tv/SmackDraw podcast, which Katie, you host along with RN. But yeah, and if you ever miss a live stream, go ahead, head over to youtube.com/SmackedRawPodcast. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Helps us out, man. We're starting to pick up a little bit of pace, man. We're getting a couple new subs in. I'm noticing it's growing. Hopefully we'll go hit 300 subs quicker than it took us to get to 200. But yeah, man, help us out. Also, head on over to WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Brush up on your articles, wrestling news, hot takes. Yeah, man. Yeah, go help those boys out, man. They let us be their exclusive recap podcast on the website, so we're always thankful. So we love to show them love on the show. All right, Katie, let's try to keep this podcast not run nearly as long as goddamn Revolution Reign. I'm telling you, that's the worst part about it for me. This show was too long. Oh my God, it was way too long.
Yeah. It was a long night. It's been a long night already.
Yeah. What were some highlights for you?
Highlights, let me see. The tag team title match, that was cool. I actually liked the the Casino tag team Royal Rumble was fun, but Jungle Boy versus Rey Fenix, inject it into my veins. I need it.
They
I
had a
want
hell
it
of a finishing
every
sequence.
night. Every night. I liked the cinematic match.
Oh no, same here. I was in that boat too. I rather enjoyed it. I think that was about as good as you can put one together, given the participants and the setting and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I saw some people, the people I saw criticizing it, just criticize cinematic matches to begin with. So I don't think it had really much to do about the specific one. A lot of the people I saw just say they're not into cinematic matches. You know, regardless who's participating.
They're not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way you're going to make Sting look good for,
Exactly.
you know, a 15, 20-minute match, however long it was. You know,
Too long.
too long. Yeah, no, like I said, so I think the lesson learned tonight that Tony Khan and everybody at AEW headquarters is going to go back is how to avoid overhyping and underdelivering. Now, I don't put on the whole. So Christian, it was the surprise signing tonight, along with also Ethan Page as well.
Yes.
But Christian was the one who was the big signing. A lot of people I saw once again upset, overhyped. But here's the thing, though. Tony Khan and Paul White hyped it fine. It was the people that got the ball rolling and started putting names like Brock Lesnar and John Cena, all people, out there like it could be. It was definitely on the people, the speculation part. They held true to what they said. You know, Hall of Fame worthy. Of course, he's Hall of Fame worthy. He obviously is a very great worker in the ring. One of Tony Khan's favorites. He claims, you know, those are fine statements. You know what I mean? That's not over everything that they said. I find it true. You know what I mean? Had it been like Ryback, would have been like, okay, you guys fucking lied to us. But no, man, Christian, that's cool, man. I don't know what you're gonna do with him.
I mean, I saw a lot of people who were excited when Christian came back for the Royal Rumble, and then saw them shit on him signing with AEW. You can't have it both ways.
I gotta say this though, I am bummed we're not gonna get an Edge and Christian like reunion tour.
Yeah,
that really bums me out. I really wanted to see those guys get like a tag team run before Edge retires, but they both want singles runs. Christian, well aware that WWE would probably misuse him in his final run with the company. He probably wouldn't. Maybe, you know, he speculated that he wouldn't have a satisfying conclusion to his career, and he has more faith that AEW will do something fun with him. So I could definitely see why he signed.
Yeah. And then I saw everyone who was like, oh, their hug at Royal Rumble was a hug goodbye. And I was like, all right, don't make it sad, please. I'm just trying to enjoy this. Don't make it sad for me.
I saw that. Clever tape. So let's kick it off here with the pre-show. Reba cannot compete, so Britt Baker introduces her replacement tag team partner, Maki Ito. This girl's had a lot of hype, and I think that this was a star-making performance for her in their tag team match against who was it? Riho and
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Okay, yeah. Ito's just a ball of charisma from her coming out, singing, and dancing, and then her in-ring style and expressions is fantastic. Also, she's already got a pre-built story in that, and this is something I actually learned when I first heard about her in the tournament. She's never been able to beat Riho. Her and Riho have crossed paths her entire career. She's kept crossing paths with Riho, and Maki Ito has never beaten her. So she's already got something to go with if she decides to stay stateside and get on TV more.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I love learning tidbits of information.
But the tag match was a decent tag match. It was like anything else. I love Ito's headbutt. Like she just shuts the lights off and falls on the opponent headbutting him. It's very fun.
She's great.
Yeah, the heels picked up the victory after Reba hit Thunder Rosa with the crutch.
Yep.
I want to say, yeah,
Right in the face.
Yeah, and then Britt Baker was able to pick up the victory. Kicking off the official start of the evening was the Bucks taking on MJF and Chris Jericho. What did you think? How'd this go?
I love this match. I mean, obviously, after Jericho and Max beat the hell out of Papa Buck, which is still rude, Bucks were coming in for revenge. They succeeded. Max ate like 18 to like 30 super kicks.
Yo,
that was fun.
While he's eating those super kicks, Tony goes, "A bit of slobber coming out of MJF's mush," to which JR goes, "It's a slobber knocker." Yes. It's JR could not retain like himself when you said slobber. Come on now.
It's a trigger word for him. You say it and he has to say slobber knocker.
Yes. And I'm very happy.
I mean, there was a lot of points where I really thought MJF and Jericho were gonna win, and I was gonna flip my desk, throw something, be pissed because it's a makeshift tag team. Makeshift tag teams should not be champs,
especially as quickly as they got there.
Exactly. They won. They were a tag team for 2 weeks. They won. Whatever, I forget what they won already. And then they had this. So, no, we don't need them as champs.
Yeah. Kudos to Jericho. Taking the pinfall in the match. Yeah. Very easily could have been like, no, MJF eats it, but instead Jericho, being selfless, ate the Meltzer driver for the Bucks victory. So, I mean, it was a good match. And I was particularly happy to see Jericho was the one who ate the pin when they lost, man. I thought that's like that's what everybody criticized the old guys for, is you got to put over younger talent. And here's Jericho doing it for him. Although that younger talent, is in their mid to late 30s, the Young Bucks, but still, nonetheless. So we had the Casino Tag Team Royale. Followed this. It's a tag team Royal Rumble, folks. It's the exact same rules.
It's like how they do the Casino Battle Royal.
No, because the Casino Battle Royal, you come in waves. So it would be, you'd have like 2 people or whatever wrestling, and then all of a sudden 5 or 6 people all enter together.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Even listen,
okay,
my
fine.
5-year-old son, I didn't coax him into any of this. My 5-year-old son, after seeing like the second or third person get counted into the ring, was like, "Oh, Dad, it's a Royal Rumble." Like my 5-year-old called it the Royal Rumble.
Well, we can't fight with a 5-year-old's
yes,
logic.
do not fight with my son Gavin. He takes Taekwondo.
I would never. Gavin would whoop my ass. No thanks.
I had him scare the piss out of my niece. Because he runs away a lot. He's not an assertive kid. So if you act, I'm gonna beat you up, he runs away like any other child would. But now that he's been taking Taekwondo for close to 2 years, or about 1.5 years rather, I yelled at him as she was like chasing him. I was like, "Gavin, fighting stance, dude." That kid went straight beast mode. Got in a fighting stance, started throwing punches and kicks, and my teenage niece ended up having to retreat. It was hilarious. Little guy can be intimidating, I guess. Cutie Marshall, he adopted the Diamond Cutter, so that's who gets the RKO. That's who gets the cutter, is QT Marshall.
Yeah, he's had that for a while.
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it till tonight. They were like, Diamond Cutter, Cutie Marshall. I was like,
because they haven't been on TV in a while.
They're on Dark every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody watches Dark.
I'm sorry. Unless something gets hyped up. I'll tune into Dark when there's something hyped up, like Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon,
Yeah.
going for their first victory. I was there for that. I
Yeah.
was, I tuned in for a couple little things, but if you don't have like a story going into Dark, I just don't watch it.
It's too much wrestling.
What happened in this match? I mean, this match was it was okay. The Seidel brothers were the first eliminated. QT Marshall, probably the biggest story moment here was QT Marshall eliminating Gun Club, who are part of the Nightmare family. Dustin Rhodes talks, what are you doing? And I think QT just eliminated himself at that point and walked off.
Yeah, he flung himself over the ropes and eliminated himself and walked to the back.
What sense does that make? He literally told Dustin, I'm trying to win. Every man, every team for themselves. Let's win this. And then in the same breath, decides to forfeit. Nothing was accomplished here.
I mean, I could see why Dustin would get mad because, the Dark Order had 3 separate teams, strength in numbers. If you kept the Gun Club in for a while, upped your chances of winning. So, I could see that aspect of it, but QT just getting in Dustin's face and then eliminating himself doesn't make sense.
No, they'll have a feud on Dark after this. Like, he'll, drop out of the Nightmare family and... Oh, thanks for the follow. The Nickman 2020. Thank you for following the show. Yeah, him and Dustin Rhodes. QT kind of, has always been... Strikes me as... He always just kind of struck me as whenever the first big wave of AEW cuts that's not COVID related, QT is probably gonna be one of the first people that go. I don't really know what boxes he ticks, as far as just, I don't know, man. He just doesn't do it for me. I
know he was Cody's assistant for a while.
Yeah.
Towards the very beginning, but now, he has his own thing, and then he has his own school, he has his own students, so I have no idea.
Just on TV, he doesn't really seem to offer much. No. He's like a bland Colt Cabana. If Colt Cabana wasn't funny, that's kind of what you get. But anyways, Jack Evans helps eliminate the Dark Order, helping Matt Hardy, still taking them out one by one. John Silver and Pac have a pretty intense stare-off. That's a feud I'm in for. And then, like you said, it comes down to Ray Phoenix and Jungle Boy representing their tag teams. Get these guys into a feud. I don't know how long we can say. No offense to Ray Phoenix, he's an amazing, but everyone acknowledges that. I don't know how much we can continue saying that, Jungle Boy just is a future star, man. The kid's a stud. Love it.
Jungle Boy's amazing.
Ray Phoenix ends up the ones winning for his team. So I guess Ray Phoenix and Pac, not Ray and Pentagon, but Ray and Pac will be going for the tag titles. Did they say, when is that? Is that Wednesday?
No, I don't think it's Wednesday. I think it's just they're the next ones to face the Bucks, whenever that will be.
Whenever they put that together. Okay.
Yeah.
Big Show drops another hint, of course, of the signing that we got later on, saying that no one can outwork them. And then we got a nice little cameo. DDP and Al Snow were out in the crowd. As far as, how do you feel about Shida, man? How do you feel about her? Longest reigning champion in AEW of any belt. And then on top of that, she also has the most victories in AEW. So right now, she's the most accomplished AEW member on the roster.
Yeah. I love Shida. I wish they would be building more women. They kind of are now with, Thunder Rosa, Britt, Maka Ito, too. They're bringing more people up and using them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Nyla, obviously, at the end of this. But I love Shida. She kills it. She's scary strong. And, that gets underdeveloped a lot and, not seen or talked about. She's great.
She has an insanely good look, too. Not that, not so much saying, that she's pretty, but she just has
There's a
like
presence.
a presence to her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember early on when we, AEW was first getting up and running, well before she ever won the belt, and I was like, yeah, that chick's the female John Cena of AEW. Like, she is just a star and rises above the roster, especially back then when, the roster was obviously ridiculed a lot for lacking depth and talent and was a week in and week out botch fest. The women's divisions come leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
They still have a long way to go to rival that of like WWE and NXT, who've been, scooping up the best talent for the last decade. So,
Yeah.
but they're coming along. Like, you just listed off a bunch of great people. Her and Ryo Mizunami killed it. Oh my god, I loved this match.
So good.
Ryu is dude. I need more of that chick on TV. Like, I just about Ryu's personality and ring style just makes me smile watching the match. Like, I fucking love it. It reminds me of like a cross between Yanu and Suzuki, or Minoru Suzuki. Like, she's super goofy, but she is like hard as fuck in the ring, man. And it's fantastic, man.
I mean, she took how many Tamashis to the face?
Yeah, those running knees. She kept kicking out of them.
won.
Hell, Sheeta had to resort to like thumb pokes to the eye. Like, Sheeta literally had to play dirty to get an upper hand in this, which was kind of out of nowhere, to be honest with you.
I mean, they were building it up, like especially in the video package before that. Mizunami said to Sheeta that she'll never beat her, even if she wrestles like 100 matches. So Sheeta was coming to win.
Yeah, I mean, like earlier too with the Ito never beating Riho, Sheeta had never been able to pull off a victory against Mizunami prior to tonight, always resulting in like a draw or a non-finish. But yeah, like you said, she had to hit like so many running knees to pick up the victory. After the match, kind of honestly odd here, you had Nyla Rose, Ito, Britt Baker, and Rebel all come down, beat down both participants. Essentially, you got 4 people in there, and Thunder Rosa ran them off. I did not like this. You I get the whole it's just the classic trope of good guy comes in late during a beatdown and then all the heels scatter, but it's are you kidding me? Like, Thunder Rosa can't even beat Nyla Rose in a one-on-one match. You mean to think that all of these women are going to run off? I mean, it's not even like Sheeta and Rio were fighting back. They were dead in the water. It just bugged me. Like, why would the heels even bother running off? You didn't need to make Thunder Rosa look that strong.
I mean, I could see why Britt would run because she's still low-key afraid of Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
But
she should have came out with like a baseball bat or some type of weapon, like, to give her an upper hand.
Grab Sheeta's kendo stick.
Yeah, man, do something. So it just seems silly to me that
I mean, that's just gonna set up a 6-woman tag if Maka stays.
God, I hope Ito stays.
And same with Mizunami.
Yeah, both of them.
If they both stay, then that's a 6-woman tag match right there.
Yep. We got the reveal. May 10th, Double or Nothing still at Daly's place. With the news of like Texas and Mississippi opening up, it's kind of a shocker that they are still banking on running shows in Florida. However, I have heard word though that even though the governor of Texas has opened up the state, the mayors are still keeping stuff shut down. So I guess it's not quite as open as people have made it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
But Double or Nothing in May 30th. 30th. Yep. What'd you think of Miro's and Kip and Cassidy and Chuck Taylor? Yeah.
I just missed Trent. I'm just gonna put that out there. Trent's always been my favorite. I missed most of this match. I'm not gonna lie. Because I had to go do stuff, and then I came back, and it was right when Miro threw Cassidy into Penelope Ford at the very end, and then she like fell into the barricade, and then he hit the game over or he applied the game over to Chuck for the win, which I knew they were gonna win.
Yeah, they protected Chuck and Orange Cassidy by having Miro and Kip Sabian attack him backstage before the match, busting Chuck's head open, throwing his head through some glass. The story coming out of this, though, is even though Miro's the best man,
he's not a very good man.
he has no regards for Penelope Ford's safety and can't be controlled by Kip Sabian. I love that. We need to separate Miro from Kip and Penelope Ford. They are doing nothing but holding him back. No offense to Kip Sabian. It's just like when you have like these trios and duos, people are supposed to benefit from each other's presence. And it feels like no one's benefiting from this team up. It's an awkward bedfellows type thing where it only really makes sense outside of pro wrestling. Like, they both like video games and Twitch streams. Like, cool, we get it. That doesn't translate to a pro wrestling, I don't even know what they are. Like, tag team, trio, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't translate and make anybody's character feel more special or bigger, I think Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford can do a lot of stuff on their own. And Miro, we know, you could send him straight to the main event on his own. I think it's just this whole grouping of them has just been hindering them. And so I'm happy they were finally getting some signs that we might be moving away from this. It couldn't happen fast enough.
Honestly, the fact that Miro came in and was immediately put with Kip Sabian kind of pissed me off, because we know Miro can be great on his own. Mm-hmm. And he's a monster. Yeah. Just let him be a monster by himself. Whatever.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Here we go. So first juicy bit, I think, actually, to come out of this pay-per-view. Marvez interviewing Jericho in Inner Circle backstage. Jericho says the Inner Circle Council will have a war meeting or whatever on
the War Council.
The War Council, excuse me, will take place on Dynamite, where they will make changes to the group and announce the new direction they're going to go in. MJF looked way too eager to chime in and say, yes, I agree, some changes need to be made, a.k.a. Inner Circle needs a new leader. That's how I took it.
I took it as they're going to kick Wardlow out. Because
Wardlow was helping him.
I mean, but he ate the Judas effect during the tag match. So maybe MJF can see that as a weakness, and then him being the snake he is, plant that into Jericho's head. Because we know Max is just the puppet master now. He's just pulling all the strings.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I was taking it that, it might be early because you might want to have Jericho eat a couple more pins, but I was thinking that he was going to use Jericho's loss as you're a weak link or a weak leader at least, So that's kind of how I took it, but we'll see. So you think Wardlow's out? I think we're going to see the start or at least the initiation of talking about a new leader rule. We'll have to wait and see. One thing we did not have to wait and see, though, was Hangman Page reuniting with the Dark Order again. Oh, this was so fun. Yay. This match with Matt Hardy. Honestly, it's all about the finish for me. The match itself was it was decent. There was some cool spot in there. Matt Hardy was trying to work over Hangman's hand and stuff to, make him unable to hit the buckshot lariat. Hangman pulled this crazy crucifix pin out of a side effect. Looked buttery smooth. But Private Party got involved. This prompted the entire Dark Order to come out, which makes sense. I've said this before. It's like Matt Hardy's on this mission to take out Dark Order one by one, but unless you're stretcher jobbing them, all that's going to happen is they're going to come out as a unit, and they outnumber the hell out of you. And so they come out, beat up Private Party. There's this fantastic spot where Hangman's on the apron, getting ready for the buckshot. He's knocked off the apron. The Dark Order catches him, throws him back up. He hits the buckshot for the win. You have the feel-good moment. Dark Order, Hangman celebrating. They even said they had some cowboy wisers or something. They handed him some beer that was just shoehorned in there. It was kind of awkward, but whatever. Hangman was drinking some beer. I like the spot where you saw Colt Cabana with a beer, and somebody had to take like the beer out of his hand. Apparently Colt can't drink or something, so
Yeah, Colt's straight edge, so he doesn't drink, so Reynolds took it.
yeah, Reynolds took his beer.
And that's not the first time they've done the catch Hangman thing.
Yeah,
They've definitely done that before, and it's always great to see.
it works, man.
Yeah. And like the group hug. Fuck yes.
Well, I mean, there's more layers too. If you really want to be insightful, like, it'd be like it's symbolism when, you know, if Hangman were to fall, that the Dark Order would be there to catch him, quite literally, you know. I wonder how this is going to go, because it wouldn't feel right for Hangman to be a member or the leader of the Dark Order, but he feels like he needs to be involved with them. You know, and I don't know exactly how you do that and make it work, other than, I guess, kind of how they're doing it. Just have him not officially be part of the group, but anytime that stuff goes sour, they have his back. You know?
He's an honorary member of the Dark Order.
There you go.
I mean, and the Dark Order are faces now. All three teams during the Tag Team Battle Royal came out of the face tunnel.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting the BTE Dark Order, which is, in my opinion, it's a toss-up. I really liked the Dark Order before, as much as I love Brody Lee. I kind of like the Dark Order before Brody Lee. I thought that Dark Order was building up to something great. And so it's a toss-up between that version and then, of course, the BTE one is just hilarious. But yeah. I'll tell you one thing. All right, so I don't know if I'm alone in this camp, but the next match with the brass, was it the brass ring match was the next one?
Yeah.
The Face of the Revolution 6-man ladder match. Dude, the brass ring looked cheesy as shit hanging up there.
Yeah, everyone was saying that. You're not alone.
Okay, that was
It looked like my ring light.
like sometimes, you know, it's like I get it. You know what I mean? It all makes sense. But you don't have to make the phrase grabbing the brass ring literal. You know, it's okay to not be first at something and just have a contract hanging up there or a briefcase. You know, the brass ring looked cheesy as hell. It reminded me of Sonic the Hedgehog the whole time with it hanging there. It's going to look even more stupid if Scorpio Sky was the one who won it, if he's got to carry it around or be interviewed with it. But
well,
I mean,
I don't think he'll have to, because since he won, he gets a TNT title match on Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is right. So that's the instant turnaround one.
Unless it's like the Money in the Bank where he has to like cash it in, and if that's the case, then scrap it immediately, throw it away.
Yes, please do. Just, oh man. I mean, but we're kind of like skipping forward here. So the participants of the match, we have Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, who else was this in this? Pentagon, Lance Archer.
Yep.
Who was the fifth person again? Oh, guy from The Acclaimed.
Max Caster.
Yeah. And then, of course, Ethan Page, who just signed with AEW. I like that I saw Sean Ross online, Sean Ross app, and he was like, I've been digging at Ethan Page for a week straight, and Ethan didn't cave and let him know that he was going to be here. But the match was, dude, this is when it turned on. Like, for me, it went from a glorified Dynamite to pay-per-view worthy was this match. What were some of the stuff that you liked about it?
I like that they kept playing up Cody's shoulder. Like, literally every chance someone got, they took a shot quite literally at his shoulder, and him even going to the back, which we all know damn well he was coming back out.
Yeah.
Don't pull that. It's Cody fucking Rhodes. He's gonna come back out.
That spot is not, for me, has lost. It's weird. When it was new and unexpected, very baby-faced, valiant thing. Mick Foley tossed off a cell. You know, getting stretchered out, going back to the match.
Yeah.
Now, with how easily it's delivered, I think it has the opposite effect. I take it as it actually makes Cody look like kind of underhanded. You're sitting there taking a break. You know, you're sitting there at the top. You didn't even have the courtesy to get off screen. You had to stay on the screen at the top of the ramp for the entire match, watching everybody wear themselves out and then pick your shot to jump in. Honestly, think it's a heel thing now. To me, it feels like a heel thing. But go on.
I mean, or they could just be playing it up because Brandy's, hella pregnant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, same thing with Mox, which we'll get into that. But, what I literally have. Jake the Snake got involved. Let's talk about that.
Short arm clothesline, man. If the crowd has never popped so hard for a short arm clothesline, for one, I feel for Jake the Snake getting hot wearing that jacket. Should have had something better on than just some plain red T-shirt. Like the man,
that's it.
just stuck out like a sore thumb in that T-shirt. But yeah. He hit that short arm clothesline. The crowd pops huge. Then he eats a super kick. I love it though. Jake the Snake. That's how you use like one of those old bastards. It's kind of like a one-time finishing move. You know, he can come in, he can get one move in, and then he's out for the rest of the match. You know, I like it.
I mean, what else even happened? I literally have it right here.
Lance Archer got caught standing around a couple times early in that
Did
match. He got caught just like, hey, Lance, why are you just standing over a ladder doing nothing? And then like, oh, this guy just jumped over a rope and hit him. You know, he just got caught. Like, some of the timing was off and his ass looked dumb. Just standing there as a prop.
I didn't notice that, but that makes sense. I mean, he was also the biggest competitor in it, so
It was early in the match. It was before Cody even got taken out. Those spots were happening. Yeah, they were some of the first ladder spots.
I mean, he got sandwiched in a ladder, and Scorpio Sky was the top piece of bread, basically.
That was good. Yeah, they had some cool spots, man. What was it? Scorpio Sky went through a ladder. It was cool. So when you had the spot, so Penta did the Canadian Destroyer to Cody, and it's the classic, the ladders hung over the apron to the barricade. Usually we're so used to WWE where the ladder collapses, and it didn't, so it looked brutal as hell. But then later on, a similar spot takes place, and I want to say it's Sky gets dropped onto the ladder, and then that one gives. And I thought that was kind of a nice mix.
Yeah.
One looked really stiff, another one was something classic that we're used to it now. I think they put this match together pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, and for that spot with Sky going through the ladder, commentary even played it up. They're like, "Oh man, he's not gonna be able to get back from that." All right.
Yeah.
I mean, he won, but nice. It did look brutal, though. I will give him that.
Yeah, I was happy when he won it, and not only did he win it, I was happy he beat Cody for it. I'm kind of over the Cody hype. It's not that I don't appreciate or respect him, but by this point, Cody, he's too dressed up. You know, he always gets the damn the Triple H WrestleMania entrance, but it doesn't matter like what show it is. It'd be Dynamite. His entrance is always over the top. He's always involved in these big stories. He never slides out of a title picture. The man, I can't remember the last feud he had that didn't involve the title, although it probably wouldn't be too hard to tell me. I can't remember a lot of stuff. But
That's true.
yeah, and it's not like he's not a big deal, but it's like, man, you don't have to be there 24/7. You know, get a good story, come out, do something on the side. let your other guys get pyro. I mean, let your other dudes get some type of entrance that even rivals yours. I can't think of another entrance that is as over the top as his, you know? And it doesn't make sense to me. He's not even allowed to go for the world title, yet he has a bigger entrance than Kenny Omega. You know, it doesn't make sense, man. And I'm happy that it was Sky beating Rhodes, who previously Rhodes had beat Sky in their TNT title match. So I was happy that Sky kind of got over that hump, grabbed the brass ring by literally knocking down one of the executives. Like there was so much metaphor to that finish.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so question is after that cinematic match that we had, does Sky get the belt on Wednesday?
I'm gonna say probably not, but I very well could be wrong. Also, Savannah is correct. Cody is the Charlotte Flair of AEW, because you know how many times I complain about Charlotte Flair being in the fucking title picture?
Yeah,
all the time. It's the same thing with Cody, which I like. I like what they're doing with Cody now. I mean, he put over Darby for the title.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting over Sky now for a chance at the title. He's kind of just like it's like him and Jericho. They're putting over the quote-unquote younger talent, even though Scorpio has like 15 years experience. But he's just helping other people get a shot now.
I get you. I feel like where Jericho, there's rich stories he's involved in, you know? Even though he's gone after the belts a lot. I mean, he had a tag title match tonight. There's a rich underlying story that is way more impactful than the championships. Whereas Cody doesn't really have much stories going. He's just going out there, he's putting on matches, and he's just in the title scene. And that's all. I want there to be like a captivating story for Cody as well. But I mean, at this point, it's probably fair to say like we'll probably get that. He's going to take some time off. Like we're sitting here complaining he's in the title picture too much, and the man's about to take a vacation. So this is probably the last time we get to complain about it for a while.
True.
So after this, we got the official contract signing. This should have told us, or should have prepared us for tonight's exploding finish, because this was anticlimactic as hell. Like, not that the reveal that it's Christian, the presentation was just weird. They did a countdown. They did they flashed the phrase, you know, you can't outwork me or something on the screen.
Outwork everybody?
Yeah, outworks everyone. And then hastily Christian walks out, takes a contract, signs it in the ring. There's no interview, nothing. Signs it, drops it on the ring, and then walks out. And it was just like, wow, you could have upped the pageantry a little bit. Could have given like, I mean, granted, he'll probably get a big promo on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, damn, that was you really made out this contract signing to be this huge thing, and part of revealing who it is the pageantry of the segment itself, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of like, I'm happy that it was Christian. I just felt like it was a dud in execution.
Yeah, I mean, even having Big Show out there to like introduce him or just hand him the contract made the biggest difference. Yeah,
exactly. God, him and Big Show could have told a couple jokes. I mean, those guys go way back, something, you know. Well, anyways, they did kind of like bounce back like right away, because the Taz came and joined commentary, and then we got this cinematic match, which is up there as far as one of my favorites go. I think one thing that helped the match, in my opinion, I didn't feel like it went too long. I felt like there was a couple segments you could have cut that were like, you know, maybe 30 seconds here, 40 seconds like there, maybe. But for the most part, I feel like they got in there, got their stuff in, got what they wanted out of it, and then called it a day. And I thought it actually looked and worked really well.
I mean, the camera work itself made this awesome.
Yeah.
Like the one shot from I think it was Sting and Starks in the ring, and then it just panned straight over to Cage and Darby fighting. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for that stuff too. Like even when I watch movies or shows, I'm like the cinematography, beautiful.
Yeah,
Like, that's what I love.
The cinematography was just as big a star as the participants in the match.
Hmm.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't just rely on less experienced people to shoot it. Like they obviously had somebody who was very talented think about all these shots. Even from the entrance, from the camera shot from Starks when they initially got in the car. And the camera went from Stark's lap into Cage's lap and then out Cage's door side. Like they had a lot of cool little camera tricks in there. You had the hoodlums. The hoodlums returned. Essentially, they're crosses between Darby Allin and Sting because they're really small, but they all wore Sting masks and hoods. Surprisingly,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was like, surprisingly, did not get in the match at all. That was the only thing that was like, that's weird. You're there obviously in support of Sting and Darby Allin, but they were there just for the atmosphere in the beginning because there was a ring in a warehouse. For anyone that didn't watch it, there was a ring in a warehouse, and these hoodlums surrounded the ring and were like yelling and smashing the ring, trying to create this like really tense and exciting vibe, which honestly worked.
Yeah.
But that was it.
I mean, Cage kind of beat them up a little, like a few of them up a little bit, and like threw Darby into one. But the thing I really liked and appreciated was that Sting and Darby each painted half their face as the others.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And
it just looks like Sting and Darby are father and son, and it's.
I didn't even notice that on Sting's makeup.
Yeah, Sting had it too. I could tell because
I'll have to go back.
The left side was like the skull.
The skull?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I'll have to go back and look at that. It was kind of dark and grainy. It was kind of dark and grainy, so. But
that's true.
Yeah. During this brawl between, that took place partially in this ring in the factory and then throughout the factory, Hobbs and Hook got involved. Darby had this one part where I think Hobbs and Cage swung Darby and went through this big glass panel. That was a really cool spot. Mm-hmm. Sting ended up brawling back towards the ring itself and was outnumbered because, Darby's taken out. Darby appears in a window, throws Sting a baseball bat. That was a nice touch. Sting gets the upper hand. And then Darby ends up delivering like a 2-story elbow drop through this platform, which then dropped like another 15 feet. Like the amount of distance that thing crashed down, like scared the piss out of me. And then it came down to Ricky Starks back in the ring with Sting. Sting had one really cool, impressive spot in here in this little mini match they had. Is Starks had him up for a power bomb, and Sting was able to counter into like a sunset flip pinning combo, which is for a man in his 60s is not going to be an easy feat. Ends up hitting a Scorpion Death Drop for the win. Once again, pretty solid cinematic match, man. I was into it.
And I think they used Sting perfect for this. Mm-hmm. He was actually involved. He hit like it's like Cena's like 5 signature moves. He hit all of his signature moves. And he sold the hell out of everything. And didn't Sting say he only wanted to do cinematic matches like anyways?
Well, yeah. I mean, the man's not going to be able to put on a 15-20 minute classic.
Yeah.
Given his age and the wear and tear that's on his body. I mean, the guy, it wasn't a fake diagnosis. Man has spinal stenosis. Mm-hmm. That ends careers. That is a career-ending diagnosis. So yeah, I went on record and I said, I'm good on Sting wrestling now. Like I really enjoyed this match. But it did not leave me wanting more. Like, I didn't think Sting brought it down. I thought it was about as good as you're going to get it. But essentially, if you keep using him, it's going to be the law of diminishing returns. You know,
Yeah.
you kind of leave it alone. Maybe you do a retirement match with him. I could see that possibly. And even then, that'd be a hard sell for me to want to see it. But yeah, I'm cool with a one and done, and then using him like Jake the Snake, man. You know, whether he's a manager beside the ring or just, there to help accent Darby Allin and other talent. But I don't really care to see another match with Sting. How about you?
I mean, I don't I don't need to see another match with Sting. I mean, this was cool as hell. But even like you said, if he just comes out with Darby, gets involved occasionally like managers do, but since Sting is Sting, he can actually like physically get involved instead of like underhanded shit. I'd be fine with that. I don't need to see another Sting match at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good send off, I think, as far as a match goes. I mean, because like I said, if you keep doing it, you're gonna end up getting a streak like the Undertaker, not the streak that you want, where just your matches just become less and less, where you botch more. You botch more, and the matches end up stinking up the room more than they do leaving people like excited,
Mm-hmm.
So after that, main event time. Oh boy. The exploding barbed wire death match, where at the end of 30 minutes, the ring will explode. And boy, did it not do that.
Which it's so sad too, because like the match itself was great.
Yeah, from bell to
And,
bell,
like,
the match was awesome.
and anytime like they even played it up in the beginning, like Mox and Omega were trying so hard not to run into the ropes, and then as soon as one got sent in, poof, explosion. And even I don't even remember what they called them, the things outside, something
They were just like makeshift platforms with barbed wire and little explosions.
Yeah, they called them, I can't remember what they called them though, something like squares of hell or something, I don't remember. But that spot was cool. I mean, Kenny literally went headfirst into it because it was a paradigm shift. But it was so good. I loved the match, and I'm just so pissed off with the ring exploding. It sucks.
Yeah. The match, they did a really, really good job of building tension.
Yes.
Of really making you like, oh, when are they going to hit it? When are they going to go through? Moxley bled crazy in the match, got busted open right in the forehead. You could see the wound. Yeah, there was no faking that. And no, man, it was a fun match. You had a combination of hardcore. To be honest with you, I didn't even find this to be like a death match. Like their lights out match was probably more like a death match than this was. This felt like just like a like two very good wrestlers just incorporating weapons into their good wrestling. Because sometimes when you get these hardcore matches, the technical wrestling goes out the window, but there was plenty of that between Mox and Kenny. They were still doing awesome wrestling in between these spots where they're hitting the ropes and going through these tables with barbed wire and stuff. I felt like it was actually pretty tame. I'm not gonna lie, and that's weird saying that considering both of them were caked in blood by the end of this. But like it did not make me cringe as much as say that spot where Moxley had to crawl through broken glass, in that lights out match. I didn't really have much cringe inducing spots outside of when Mox hit that paradigm shift and then had to get off the platform. That was the only time where I was like, oh man, that looks like it sucks. But no, man, they crushed it. Mox took a shot of liquor in the ring before the match started appropriately.
Yes,
But no, man, they killed it. Mox ended up doing a really clever spot where he took the one-winged angel, something nobody kicks out of. So Moxley hits the ropes and causes the explosion off the ropes to break up the pin. That was a nice spot.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
And didn't I call this though in my tweet leading up to the match that Moxley was going to take some type of barbed wire explosion to the face? Because that's exactly what happened. The Good Brothers come out, they hand Kenny this barbed wire broom, and when Kenny hits it in Mox's face, it blows up, and that was actually pretty awesome. But Kenny One Wing Angel through a chair, picks up the win, and then the memes that are gonna spill. And anytime somebody wants to insult AEW, they are going to use the GIF of this explosion. Years. This will go on for years. Anytime some NXT or WWE fan or AEW hater just wants to take the piss out of AEW fans, they are going to just play the GIF of this explosion. It was weird. So, Katie, what happened?
Okay. I don't even like explaining it. It sucks. I mean, after Kenny wins and the Good Brothers are there, they start beating the hell out of Mox, and then you have the timer literally counting down from a minute. That causes Omega and the Good Brothers to kind of, get out of the ring because, the ring's supposed to explode. And then Eddie Kingston came out because Mox is basically dead, handcuffed in the middle of the ring. Kingston coming out was a fantastic touch. I liked that.
Dude, I had goosebumps.
Should have came out a little sooner, but that's fine. While Mox was getting his ass beat, it's fine. And I loved that aspect of it, and I'm gonna keep saying that part alone. Like, I really want to overshadow the explosion because Kingston's like, well, there's not enough time to get Mox out of the ring, which there was, but that's none of my business. He just covers Moxley with his body, and the timer goes off. Explosions. No, sparklers. Cody's pyro is more intense than the explosions that happened. Like, no, that's not. I get what they were going for. It just didn't work.
So they obviously... So one of two things happened. A, something went wrong. But I don't think it did because all the explosions that went off were symmetrical. It wasn't like it looked like one or thing went off or anything. No, like everything was symmetrical that went off. So that tells me... unless there was a whole other line of explosions that all of them just didn't go. Everything that went off was supposed to. So that leads me to believe they didn't do a dress rehearsal. Like,
yeah.
Had they taken those explosions and, a day or so beforehand, set them off, they could have easily seen like, oh, wow, this is very little. Like you said, like Cody's pyro is more intense than what went off. Yeah, and you felt bad, Kingston selling it, because from a story standpoint, outside of the lack of explosions, was great. It's a guy, essentially it's Kingston essentially jumping on the grenade for Moxley here. Yeah. Was the story they were telling. But when nothing happened and he had to lay there and sell, it was rough. It was a tough watch. You could feel the air sucked out of the room. You actually heard crowd booing. That's the first time I think I've ever heard a crowd boo AEW in the stands. Yeah. They scrambled. I saw a couple things, which is, hindsight's always 20/20. In the moment, it's going to be a lot harder to call those spots. But people were putting out there like, Kingston could have got up, and told that he cut most of the explosives before he got out there or something. But I mean, in the end, how do you call an audible in a moment like that when you have this big story you're trying to tell? So it is what it is. The AEW definitely has pie on their face coming out of this pay-per-view.
Which sucks because the rest of the pay-per-view wasn't bad.
Honestly, I think if anything, this actually helps. How do I put this? This speaks louder to what NXT has been able to do with their takeovers. NXT hasn't had a bad takeover since like inception, and this just shows that is really special, because I don't care who you are. In my opinion, this pay-per-view for me was the most lackluster pay-per-view. There was way more mediocre spots to me than like that, like goosebump inciting stuff that you expect from NXT and AEW. But at the same time, you can't knock it out the park every time. It's just when you advertise exploding ring for like a month and then you get a couple sparklers, man, it's rough. That's a rough pill to swallow right there.
Yeah. I mean, like Savannah said, I guess Mox like cut a promo after they went off the air and said Kenny Omega is one tough son of a bitch, but he can't build an exploding ring worth of shit.
Yeah, no, man.
I like that. Like they know it didn't go. Like they know.
Yeah. Like
they're aware that it didn't go according to plan, and I like that they're not trying to cover it up now either. Like they're just gonna be like, yeah, the things didn't fucking work.
So they definitely need to call an audible on Dynamite, because if this was meant to write Moxley off TV, they can't go with that now. Moxley, they need to address it's something else. Moxley hurt his neck off of the One Wing Angel through the chair.
Could play off his knee because he was selling that the whole match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I at least hope that Dynamite pivots, because if the plan is to take Moxley off TV and you were supposed to write him off with this explosion, you can't go with that angle anymore. That's going to be tone deaf as shit. So come up with a better excuse. Come out and say, hey, have Moxley say, my wife's having a baby. I'm going to go be a dad for a couple months. Hell, anything. Just please don't let this explosion write him off TV, because that would be very silly. And
you could honestly have Kingston come out, say, yeah, Mox's knee more fucked up than we expected. He's going to be out for a while. Yeah. Even just Kingston saying something like that, not saying anything with the explosion, just the match itself, is the reason Mox is going to be gone for a while.
Exactly. And then I was saying earlier, and then I think Savannah in the chat says, BTE will be able to patch this up like they did with Matt Sydal. Yeah. Watch it be what's his name? Oh God, why can't I think of his name right now? The baby oil guy.
Michael Nakazawa.
Have Michael Nakazawa do his segment where he's like pouring baby oil on the explosives or something. Jesus. Have him beat Nakazawa again.
It's all Nak's fault.
Anytime there's a botch, like, it's Nakazawa. That's his gimmick. Is he's the one behind all of the botching in AEW.
I mean, he is Kenny's best friend, so
there you go, man.
That would be funny though if they end up doing that.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button over on YouTube. Follow us here on Twitter, and also head over to, or not on Twitter, on Twitch. Also head over to our Twitch page, twitch.tv/SmackDrawPodcast. Make sure to follow that Twitch channel as well. You can find us on Twitter at SmackDrawPod, myself at The Kai Tai Show, and of course Katie Baby at Katie Wrestling 13. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. Like I said. All right, and hit us up, man. Just hit us up. And until next time, y'all have a good one. Bye.
Bye.